Hello and welcome to TC Live. So today we have some very special guests with us today, but they will be coming in here in a couple minutes. But we want to go ahead and get started. I want to send a very special thank you to our good friend Sean McGee for his big surprise that he blew up yet last week on the podcast. Keeping the man of his word, keeping his promise, and wearing the Alabama shirt. Sean, that meant a lot to me, bud. I greatly appreciate that, brother. So today we got a couple other special guests with us, but they should be in with us here just barely a couple minutes, not too much longer. But we're very excited for today. Caden, I tell you what, we got the national championship tomorrow for college football. We got NFL playoffs right now in full swing. My Super Bowl this year is busted already. Yeah, my Super Bowl got busted last night after Washington took down Detroit 45-31. So, yeah.
That was a big surprise. I was not expecting that whatsoever.
Really?
No, I did not expect the Commanders of all teams to take out the Lions.
It was very it was very heartbreaking. I'm not going to lie to you there, bud. Definitely not going to lie to you, but this Commanders team is tough right now.
Oh, yeah.
This Commanders team is a tough team. But today, right now, what we've got going on right now in Philadelphia is the Eagles and Rams right now. Now, I don't have scores right now on this, but tonight we have Buffalo at home against Baltimore. Now, that one is going to be an absolutely tough matchup for both teams. But, Caden, I'm very excited today, and I'm going to tell you why I'm excited.
Okay.
So, my college basketball team is killing it right now.
Oh, yeah.
The Duke Blue Devils are on an absolute tear in the college basketball world right now. And they're just tearing it apart right now. That's all they're doing. They're just tearing it apart.
No, they definitely are, and it's honestly it's exciting to see that the Blue Devils are actually they have their star again.
Yeah. And, the last time Duke had their stars was like Jason Tatum and Zion Williamson and stuff like that. But now it's like Cooper Flagg is the head star for the Duke Blue Devils right now.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So, I mean, this is huge right now. I mean, just the other day, Duke played Boston College, and Boston College just absolutely got manhandled by this Blue Devils offense and defense. But you know what? Duke's got a long ways to go right now, but they're going to pull it out. I'd say Duke's going to make it the Final Four, if not the national championship for the college basketball world. I'd like to see the Duke Blue Devils win it again. But, Caden, we got NBA games going on today, I'm assuming.
Hell yeah.
It keeps bringing my personal email up, and I can't get into the
start reading
TC
them out?
Live.
Do what, bud?
You want me to start reading them out?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, so today,
Could you
in
not
the
just
second
send it
quarter
there and it go
is
automatically to
the
TC
San
Live?
Antonio Spurs beating,
No,
never
it's
mind. The Heat are
171.
currently beating the San Antonio Spurs, 43-41. Later on today at 6, the Denver Nuggets are playing the Orlando Magic.
Stop.
At 7 p.m., the 76ers will be playing the Milwaukee Bucks. And again at 7, the Brooklyn Nets are playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's going to be a shutout. At 9, it's going to be the Bulls and the Trailblazers. At 9 as well. There's 2 other games at 9. I'm just going to say that. Washington is facing Sacramento. And a rivalry game, the Los Angeles Lakers are playing the Los Angeles Clippers.
Well, that's going to be an interesting game, Clippers and Lakers.
Hell yeah.
But TC Live, so I know we had just started, but we're experiencing a slight difficulty regarding some emails real quick. But if you give us a couple minutes, we're going to get this set up, we're going to get this fixed, and we will be right back with you guys. We hate to do this, but we've got to take a quick break so that we can get this stuff figured out real fast. So give us about 2 to 3 minutes. We'll be right back with you guys, and we'll see you guys here in a few minutes. We love you guys. Hello and welcome back. Okay, so I think we finally got our issues figured out. We were having slight issues with emails, not too bad, just a little bit. But we got our email sent out to our special guest for today. But Caden, yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm going to tell you, and I think it's a little interesting to me because the last time the Oklahoma City Thunder were actually a decent team was with Harden, Westbrook, and Durant all on the same team.
Yeah.
And now this Thunder's team is looking phenomenal right now.
Oh, yeah, they're doing great.
Do the Thunder have the ability to make a deep run in the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I don't see a world where they don't at least make the conference finals. At least I hope. If all goes according to plan, you know?
Yeah, they got this. It's the point of staying healthy. That's the point right now.
Exactly. That's the real game of basketball.
Yeah, staying healthy is hard because LeBron said it before here, bud. He's wanting to try and play all 82 games of the season. That's a toll on your body right there, man. You can't do that.
Especially a 40-year-old man.
Exactly. Like, you can't do that right now. But, Caden, we got less than a couple months left. We actually got less than a month, actually, before training camp starts for the Wheeling Miners.
Yeah.
The Wheeling Nailers season is in full swing right now.
Yeah, I believe it's the All-Star break right now.
But I tell you what, bud, this has been so far an unbelievable year for sports. It really has. You know, college football is getting ready to end after the national championship tomorrow. Caden, who do you got tomorrow, bud? Notre Dame or Ohio State?
I got Ohio State.
You got Ohio State going?
Listen, I've been saying this since playoffs started. It'd be so cool for Notre Dame to win this championship, but I just think Ohio State is the last time Notre Dame beat Ohio State, I think it was 1936. I saw a video. I don't know if it's true. Don't fact check. No, I'm kidding. You can fact check me if you want, but I don't know if that's a true fact or not. I saw a video.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see Notre Dame win this tomorrow.
I think it'd be cool.
Like, it would be a phenomenal. It would be phenomenal for Notre Dame to win the national championship tomorrow. It would be an absolute grind for the Irish to win. But boy, oh boy, could you imagine the absolute heartbreak for Ohio State fans if Notre Dame were to win tomorrow?
Oh, it would. Oh God.
I could hear I can hear it now in the back of my ears, Caden. I can hear it now. Ohio State fans, oh, we lost that game. We should have won that game. They fucking cheated. Sure.
I was gonna say you've been doubting Ohio State since the beginning.
I do, and I still doubt Ohio State. I don't care if they win it this year or not. I'm still going to doubt the Buckeyes. That's just the way it is for me. I like Sean McGee. He sticks to one team, and that is the Georgia Bulldogs. Me, on the other hand, I stick to one team, and that's the Alabama Crimson Tide. You, Caden, it's the Ohio University Bobcats. So
Don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide.
Exactly. But it's just the way it goes nowadays. And to be truthful and honest with you, bud, this Ohio State team is really good. I mean, Jeremiah Smith, Will Howard, Travion Henderson, and all these guys on Ohio State, it's a very deadly team. Jack Sawyer on the defense as well. That kid's a beast. That kid is an absolute terror on that field right now. But I tell you what, this has been, God. If the Irish win tomorrow, it is going to be absolute blood, sweat, and tears. And the Irish are known for luck. So maybe a little bit of Irish luck will hit for the Irish tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, Ohio State, Notre Dame, national championship. It's about time. 24 hours. That's all we got left before we finally crown our new winner of this new 12-team college football playoff. But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be fun to see. Caden, do you have any winners for today so far?
For NBA?
We could go NBA or NFL. Do you have winners for today?
So, who's playing today? There's the Eagles.
The Eagles and the Rams today.
I got Eagles winning that one, but the Rams are a very underrated team. I was not expecting them to make it this far.
Well, I wasn't even expecting them to beat the Vikings.
Yeah, we all said the Vikings were going to win that game.
Yeah, and we ended up the Vikings ended up losing that game. It's about as bad as you and I, when we were originally talking to start the show off, it's about as bad as you and I when we first started discussing the Washington and Detroit game from last night. I was not expecting Washington to go into the 8 Mile in Detroit and absolutely slap the Lions around and walk out of Detroit with a 45-31 victory last night.
I was going to say Jared Goff was not the Jared Goff from this season.
No. I think he threw 3 interceptions last night.
Yeah.
That's,
It was definitely something. I did not expect Jared Goff to even, I expected him to be better. But apparently, that was not the case.
Yeah, no. I didn't know. So, update on one of our guests. He will be on here in just a minute. He had to run errands. He thought time was 4:30 and not 4. So, he will be on here in just a minute. Don't worry, folks and fans. It's okay. He'll be here. Other guests should be here pretty soon, hopefully. But, Kate, answer me this. Can Washington go to the Super Bowl?
I think it'd be cool. I don't remember the last time the Commanders have made a Super Bowl.
It has been a long time. It's been a very long time, bud.
But I definitely think it would be cool. But unfortunately, I don't think it's the case. I don't think they're going to make it past the Eagles.
I mean, if the Eagles, what's the score update for that game? Do you know, bud?
13-10, Eagles ball.
Eagles with the ball. Who's winning? Rams?
Eagles.
Eagles are winning. Okay. If the Rams beat the Eagles today, I think Washington has a chance. If the Eagles beat the Rams today, I think Washington loses next week.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
So let's just put it this way. If the Eagles can pull it off against the Rams and they have to head on with Washington to go to the Super Bowl, there is nothing to stop the Eagles from getting there. But there is a young QB in Washington right now who is absolutely on a tear in the NFL right now, and this is Jaden Daniels. This kid is phenomenal. This is a phenom on the field right now. To be honest, he's better than Patrick Mahomes right now. He is better than Patrick Mahomes. And I will say that as a rookie, for Jaden Daniels to be doing as good as he is this year, and with a Washington Commanders team that barely sniffs an 8-win season in the last couple years, this is phenomenal right now. So, it will definitely be interesting to see. It will definitely be interesting to watch in the next week or so. Tonight's matchup, Baltimore and Buffalo. Now, if you are any fan of ours, if you watch our show and you notice that you live here where we are, the weather outside sucks right now. It absolutely sucks asshole. It is snowing like crazy outside where we are.
Hell yes.
But in Buffalo, it is worse. So now my question, do the Ravens have the ability to walk into a Buffalo Bills stadium in this weather and absolutely demolish the Bills?
No.
Really?
I mean, I want the Ravens to win this game, but I don't know. I just have a feeling because the Bills play in this weather often, because it's again, it's home field. I take everything back. Take everything back I just said.
Okay.
I'm like Lamar. Hold on. I'm gonna do a quick checkup real quick. I want to look at Lamar's stats real quick. How did he play in this? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I take back my bold claim.
So you're saying Ravens win against Buffalo?
Yeah, this is Lamar Jackson's best season.
Our friendship is now over. No, I'm just kidding. I cannot agree with that. I do not see the Ravens walking into Bills Mafia Stadium with an absolute chance of winning this game. I mean, yes, look, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and the king of running backs right now, Derrick Henry. But this Bills team this year is absolute terror on the fields.
So I do just wanna only reason I'm saying it is Lamar's having the best season he's had. This is actually his best season.
Yes, but it is not MVP season though. Or would you call it an MVP season?
I mean, he's doing better than his MVP season. Both MVP seasons.
Okay.
I mean, hold on. I do want to look up the
But
ladder.
see, here's the thing. If you're Baltimore right now, you've got a lot to worry about in Buffalo right now. You've got Josh Allen who can run that ball, and he can swing that ball downfield without a problem at all. So this Buffalo Bills team is a very damn good team. But that defense in Baltimore, that is a very, very heavy defense. Very heavy defense. So it is to be determined. So let's put it this way, okay? Here we go, folks. If Baltimore wins this game, they got Kansas City next week. If Buffalo wins this game, they got Kansas City next week. Now, Kansas City has lost to Buffalo this year. Buffalo delivered Kansas City their very first loss of the season this year. Baltimore has not played. I don't believe they have played Kansas City this year.
I can look that up real quick.
But either or, because Kansas City won yesterday. They beat Houston 23 to 14.
Yeah, how do you feel about that game?
To be truthful and honest with you, bud, I knew Kansas City was going to win that game. It's trust and believe. I would have loved to have seen Houston win that game, but Kansas City is too tough. They are an absolutely tough team.
So I do want to point out, the Ravens and Chiefs played week 1.
Okay.
And the Chiefs won that game 27-20.
Okay.
But the Ravens and the Bills played this year. And the Lamar Jackson show won that game 35-10.
I don't think it's going to be the same way that in the playoffs, bud.
Where was this game? Was this home or away? This was home for the Bills.
Interesting. What week was that? What week was that game?
Let me look. Week 4.
Okay. So it was still early in the season, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna give the Bills like a benefit of it out here. Like, both teams are gonna play their hearts out, but at the end of the day, you gotta play the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is true. Okay, so let me ask you this: so if Buffalo wins this game against Baltimore, can they beat Kansas City again?
I don't think so.
Okay. If Baltimore wins this game, can they beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium?
No.
So you're saying Chiefs in the Super Bowl this year?
Unfortunately, I think so. And
look, and to all the fans out there that are Chiefs fans, I cannot watch another Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs in it again. I cannot. Like, I want to see a new team in the Super Bowl. Like, I've got to see, like, Buffalo, Washington, or Buffalo, Philadelphia, or Baltimore, Philadelphia. That would be an absolutely phenomenal game to watch.
Dude, two bird games? Hold on.
Like, that would be an absolutely phenomenal game. Lamar versus Jalen Hurts, Zay Flowers, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith, Saquon versus Derrick Henry. Like, how awesome would this Super Bowl be? It would be an absolutely amazing bowl game, Super Bowl game.
Patrick Mahomes currently has 11 interceptions on the season. There is no shot that he gets MVP this year.
Absolutely. There's no shot. But, Caden, one of our guests just showed up here, bud.
Yes, sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to the set today new signee with the Willing Miners, original Carolina Cobra, and center for the Willing Miners this year, Mr. Cj Cain. How you doing, CJ?
Good. How are you? Apologies for being a little late today.
Bro, you're good. We were talking playoffs. I was being Jim Moorhead, original coach for the Colts, and I was talking playoffs? Yeah. We're talking playoffs already, CJ. So, CJ, since you're here, let's get caught up on this here, bud. Tomorrow night, Ohio State, Notre Dame, bud. National championship. Who you got, buddy?
Going Notre Dame.
Let's go!
Ooh, okay.
I have a kid I was fortunate enough to coach his junior and senior year of high school. He's the kicker for Notre Dame. So
Ooh.
There we go.
Ties to that one.
So, CJ, let's run through this, but if you're Notre Dame right now, you got a tough task ahead of you tomorrow night. And that is the Ohio State Buckeyes. And this Ohio State team is, like, absolutely terror on the field right now.
Oh, yeah.
If you're Notre Dame, how do you go into this game and how do you shut down this Ohio State team?
I think you've got to do what's gotten you there. Notre Dame's done a great job running the football on offense and stopping the run and getting after the quarterback on defense. So I think Coach Freeman's going to have those guys ready to play. I think that the difference is going to be in the trenches tomorrow, like it is in a lot of games. But Texas really exposed a lot of holes in Ohio State's offensive line last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever they played. But I think Notre Dame, with how much they bring pressure and how talented they are in the front seven, I think could give Ohio State a lot of problems.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have been downgrading the Buckeyes all year round. I really have.
Yes. Oh,
But I did not have Ohio State getting this far. I really didn't. I had them either losing to Oregon or losing to Texas. There was no chance the Buckeyes were making the national championship this year. No chance. But boy, was I proven wrong. I was so bad. I was so wrong on so many levels. Look, I'm taking Notre Dame tomorrow night. I really, really love this Notre Dame Irish team. I really do. Riley Leonard is one of those QBs that he doesn't get rattled that much at all. So I think this Notre Dame team is going to give Ohio State some problems. I really do. I don't see this being a blowout game. I see it being a very, very close game. Very close. But, CJ, you got less than a month going into training camp, bud. How you feeling going into training camp?
Feeling good. Kind of wrapping up the prep part now. Got a couple weeks left. Gonna continue to work out and get in shape and stuff. But probably a week or so, week and a half before camp really starts up. Probably just really focus on making sure my body's 100% to go into camp. And we have a longer camp. I think we start practicing on the 20th or 21st of February, and we don't play until March 10th. So, I'm not great at math, but we've probably about 3 weeks or so of camp and prep before we get to play. So, as great as my body feels now heading into camp, I want to make sure that it feels just as good during camp and through camp. So that way on Monday night we can put a show on at West Banco.
Absolutely. West Banco Arena is going to be rocking. So now everybody that are fans out there of ours, of TC Live, March 10th, Monday night, the Colorado Spartans will be traveling to West Banco Arena for the very first game of the season this year. Now, this game could get out of hand quickly for either team if you're not careful. But there is one person on this head coaching staff for the Willie Miners that is not worried by any means necessary, and that is Coach Rez. I will tell you that right now. That man will fight anybody.
Oh, yeah. I talk to Coach Rez at least 3 times a week, about football, about stuff off the field, just things we see, just whatever. Actually, my wife and I were up in Wheeling a week ago, whatever, during the tryouts, just to kind of get a lay of the land and, get to see everything. Beautiful country up there.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Mountains. It was all that stuff, and got to actually went to a Nailers game and got to see the inside of West Banco, which was pretty cool to kind of visualize where I'll be in a couple weeks. But no, I'm excited. Like you said, we're coming out ready to play, and I know they're going to come out ready to play. And they got some talented players. They were a team last year in the NAL that had some circumstances off the field that hindered a little bit of their performance, but their quarterback is pretty good. They got a legit receiver, probably a couple others that are coming in. Pretty good defensive end. So it'll be a good test for us. Me personally as a competitor, much rather open up against a team like that than open up, playing a scrimmage or something like that, or playing a team that we should beat by 50. I like to play the best and showcase why we're going to do what we're saying we're going to do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
CJ, we have. When you look at the minor season last year, the inaugural season in the AAL2, going undefeated, winning the championship game against Peach State, and now you're in the inaugural season in the NAL. You, last year, were with the Carolina Cobras, correct?
Yes, sir.
So so some of these young guys that are on this team who haven't played teams like Colorado, Carolina, Sioux City, and teams like that, as a leader on the team, what do you tell these new guys? What do you tell these young guys about, Carolina going to the Snake Pit in Greensboro, or, having to travel to Colorado and play the Spartans? What do you tell these young guys going into these games?
Yeah, when I was actually up at the tryout, I was talking to Joel Zellum, and we were, talking a little bit about it. The good thing is Coach Rez, when he built this team last year, he built it for the future. He didn't just build it to go and win the AAL2 championship and go undefeated and do all that stuff. He built it with the vision of we were going to join the NAL, or a higher league at the time when they were making the decision. But if you look at some of the guys that we have on the roster as guys from last year, some of those guys, Aaron Finch, was in the NAL, played in Jacksonville. Tyree Williams was in camp in Carolina with me last year. Alex Coleman, played longtime veteran of the NAL. We've been teammates. This will be our third time being teammates together. Grant Russell's played in the AFL back in 2019. He's got a list of accolades. A majority of our team, I'd say 75-80% of our team, has either played big time college football, guys like Sean McGee, or they've played some form of higher level indoor football. We got Brandon Munoz coming back to Wheeling and putting on for the city that he went to school in. Guy was NAL Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. So the biggest thing for me, the competition will obviously be better than what we were playing last year as a whole. But the stuff that will cause teams more issues is the logistics of traveling and doing things like that, where last year the furthest game may have been DC or Jersey or something like that. Now we're going across country to Colorado.
Yeah.
So those kind of things, when you got younger guys, can be what holds up a team. Now, like I said, Coach Rez built a team that could have won the NAL last year and done a lot of damage and probably competed to win a championship. If that wasn't the case, he wouldn't have brought most of those guys back for this year. And then we've added in pieces, with guys that are proven. I mean, looking at the roster, there's, I think, one rookie on our entire roster, maybe two. Everybody else has some form of indoor experience, whether it be IFL, NAL, AFL, AF1, CIF, like any of these other leagues. So, while yes, there'll be some growing pains here and there, especially more so transitioning with rule sets. I think that'll be something that'll be talked about more than, oh, well, we have to go to Carolina, we have to go to Columbus, we have to go to, these type of places. Going down the Snake Pit, it's going to be fun. It's going to be, I was talking with Coach Rez earlier, it's going to be a fast week. We play on a Monday night, get a couple days to recover, and then we're leaving on Friday to play a game on Saturday. So, it's going to be a quick turnaround for that next game. But, I think we're built the right way. We're not a team full of rookies, but we're also not a team full of just big names. We've got good, talented players. We've got young guys. We've got unproven guys. We've got proven guys. So I think we have a great combination of everything here. So I think once we figure out traveling and, some guys have done it, some guys haven't. Once we figure that stuff out and how Coach Rez wants to do it and how he wants to operate that stuff, I think there's enough veteran leadership on this team to kind of nullify any potential problems, which, talking to a lot of guys on the roster and how things are operating, knowing Coach Rez, we don't have a bunch of, if any, turds or anything like that here. I really, really commend Coach Rez for the roster he's built, and Chris Duffy for, signing off on it. And, I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to play with these guys.
Yeah, man. Look, before I continue on here, I got a comment here in the YouTube section of asking the pick for the national championship, and Mr. Cj Cain has made his pick already, and it is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish for tomorrow night over the Ohio State Buckeyes. So that pick has already been made. Now, CJ, you played with Carolina and Brad Negron last year. You guys, first game of the season is Colorado, and they got a really tough team this year. Forrest Whitaker, the quarterback spot, Stephen Newbold from, Florida State University out there. Coach Rez said it before, we have to protect our trenches and get after there. The game in football is a trench war. It really is. As, playing offensive line, you guys got a new signee right now in Wheeling who is 6'8" right now, 300 and something pounds. This offensive line is boosted. Like, this is a boosted offensive line. How do you see you guys handling some of this pass rush from, like, Carolina, Colorado, and teams like this?
Yeah, so, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about. Myself, I've played, last year we were in the indoor rules in the NAL, so I've got experience with that. McLean, that just signed, he's a massive human being. His nickname's Big Mac, so if you ever want to talk to him about that. But, he was with the Sioux Falls Storm last year, another team in the IFL, so he's got indoor experience. Tariq Bateman, who is also 6'7", 6'8", spent the last 2 years in Iowa in the IFL, indoor experience. Izzy, longtime veteran. Joel's a young guy that can play all the positions. He's aggressive, athletic, catch passes out of the backfield, running routes, can play O-line, D-line. He's a Swiss Army knife. But how we're going to handle the pass rush is we're going to establish the run first. That's without me talking to Coach Rez. But with how his mindset is, I imagine us running the football. We've got some pretty good running backs with Charles Westbrook and AJ Davis that are going to tote the rock. I know in the indoor style, you run it just a little bit more than you do in arena rules. Obviously we're not going to run it 40 times a game, but we're gonna establish the run. We're gonna keep it short yardage, manageable situations. We don't want to be in too many third and long situations where you can get after us. But we're also going to prepare. We're going to watch film together as a group. We're going to talk as a group. We already have a O-line group chat where we're talking pretty often. Not as much football right now, but just more so just getting to know each other and things like that. And Good thing is we get some extra time in camp to get to know each other. I think, if I remember correctly, just about all of us except for maybe Joel will be living in Wheeling. I think Joel lives in Pittsburgh, so he drives in and out, but it's 45 minutes to an hour. So we're all going to be around each other, being together, building camaraderie. I think that's the biggest thing, because being in Carolina last year, there's some talented defensive linemen in this league, but I firmly believe, top to bottom, that we're going to see the best defensive line every day in practice.
Absolutely.
Sean McGee's a dog. Robbie Stewart's a dog. Isaiah Lewis is a dog. Brandon Munoz is a dog. And I'm not just saying, I'm not going down the entire list of all of our D line, but those four guys that I know or have communicated with often, I know can play just like everyone else. I mean, Coach Rez isn't bringing guys to camp just to stay in the hotel.
Well, look, I'm going to say this because I have my dogs on defense right now, and my dogs on defense are some good friends of mine, and that is Mr. Georgia Bulldog, Mr. Sean McGee, and that is my other man, Mr. Tyree Williams. These are some dogs on this field. These guys are ready to eat. But, CJ, I don't know if you caught the show last week at all, but Sean McGee delivered a man of his word, delivered a promise that he delivered to me and made a bet with me earlier this year in the college football season. Did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah, what was it? He had to wear an Alabama shirt or something like that?
Yes, sir. And as you can see, I was not in a Georgia Bulldog shirt. My man, Mr. Sean McGee, delivered on that promise with the Alabama Crimson Tide, and he gave me a Roll Tide live on the show. So I was very happy to see that. I was very proud of that one, too. But, Sean, Sean was one of those people that I got a chance to grow a friendship with during last season. And then Mr. Tyree Williams as well. And now I'm growing a friendship with Cj Cain, Coach Rez, and all these guys. CJ, second game of the season, you got to go back to Carolina. How are you feeling going back into the snake pit again, bud?
I did a show not too long ago with Coach Rez, and I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not going to be, important or that I'm not going to think about it. But, like I said then, it's not about me. There's other guys on the team, Alex Coleman, who was in Carolina last year, Tyree Williams, who was in camp in Carolina last year, and there's probably a couple other guys that I'm not. Jarvay Flowers was with us in Carolina briefly last year. There's connections to Carolina across the board. Obviously, Coach Rez, spent 3-4 years of his career coaching there, being the GM there, building relationships. So, it's gonna be a surreal kind of moment at first, but it's gonna be for different things, like stepping on the field. But like walking into the visiting locker room, walking to the other bench versus the bench I've been on for the last 2 years. Like, that's the kind of stuff that's going to be, like, interesting. I'm going to be excited, but, at the end of the day, I have a job when I get there, and it's to win a football game. And, like I told Coach Rez earlier when we were talking, I don't care what happens between the kickoff at the beginning and the final whistle, as long as Wheeling has one more point than Carolina.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's my mindset in it. I got friends over there, plenty of really good friends. Coach Negron and I are really close. He did a lot for me in Carolina last year and the year before as an assistant with Coach Fuller. So I've got really good relationships there. But, just like they tell you, if you were talking to them, they want to win that game. It's home opener, first game of the season. They don't want to start the year 0-1. We're trying to go 2-0 when we get to that point. So, it'll be good. It'll be fun. I'll have some, I know for a fact I'll have some fans that talk a little junk to me that I've built good relationships with over the last 2 years. You know, I'll have some of the guys will talk junk. Coach Negron will probably talk some junk. You know, ownership. You know, but it'll be all fun. I hope. You know. Obviously, I told him, and I stand by it. You know, I'm not the type of guy that's going to walk out there and, you know, flip middle fingers to people and talk trash. Like, I'm going to get ready to play a football game. You know, but, you know, just like anybody else, if something gets said to me or talked to me, I'm going to talk back, and, you know, we'll play the game and see what happens. But I've got nothing but love for the organization and Coach Negron, and, you know, it made it easier when I came up here because, you know, I know him and Coach Rez don't always see eye to eye, but deep down, you know, he told me that Coach Rez was a really good coach to come play for, and, you know, he's got respect for Coach Rez as a coach and as a person. So, you know, it made the decision a little bit easier. And, you know, when we come back March 15th, it'll, you know, like I said, I'll probably get booed a little bit and all that. But, you know, my family lives not too far from Greensboro, so, you know, it'll be nice for them to be able to see me play, because now I'll be about 8 hours away. It'll be tougher for them to come to all the games. But, you know, at least going to Greensboro twice, it's easier for them to just ride 45 minutes and come watch me. You know, so at least they can continue to do that. And like I said, after the game, I'll take pictures with people and, you know, catch up with people. I'll just be in a different color uniform.
Absolutely. Well, CJ, give me one quick second here, bud, because, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to the set with us on TC Live, General Manager and Head Coach for the Wheeling Miners, Coach Rez. Coach, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
Oh man, fantastic, bro. We out here having fun. We talking with Mr. Cj Cain. We're out here talking college football championship tomorrow, NFL playoffs. It can't get no better than this, Coach.
Sorry about that, man. I've been wide open today.
I believe it, man. Look, you're good, buddy. You're good. We got this covered, Coach. You know how I do. I got this.
So what's going on? What I missed? What's up, CJ? What's up, Caden? What's up?
Well, Coach, we talking NAL right now. But, Coach, I need your pick for tomorrow night. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Who you got, bud?
I'd like to say Notre Dame.
Ooh!
It'll be Ohio State, but it'll be a good game nonetheless.
Absolutely. That's gonna be a hard-hitting game. Ain't no doubt about it. But, Coach, right now we talking Carolina, Colorado. We're talking NAL season this year for you guys right now. First game of the season for you guys, Coach, is Colorado. And you said it on Facebook. You know, games are won and lost in the trenches. We have to protect ours and get after theirs. With this Colorado team, how do you expect to get after this, you know, fast Colorado offense?
Yeah, we're just going to have to be sound and be well prepared. You know, it's going to be a good team, good coach team. You know, Coach Shaw is definitely going to have those guys fired up. They're definitely one of those teams that you want to see early, like first off. So they're making that long trip from Colorado, and you know, luckily they should be getting a non-stop flight from Denver to Pittsburgh. So the travel really isn't going to play too much of a factor. But anytime you got to go from West Coast to East Coast, or vice versa, you know, it's a little tough within itself. But you got some really good players. You know, quarterback coming back. You got some really good skill guys on the offense and defensive side. And, you know, Coach Shaw's been doing this for a while, and he played the game, so he knows how important it is to have the trenches locked down. And you know, so he's going to know that he's going to have to protect Whitaker and be able to have a good front four on the defensive side to get after, you know, whoever they're playing, especially against a guy like Grant. You know, going in, you know, yeah, we were a developmental league last year. We didn't treat ourselves as that, but we probably got one of the top quarterbacks in the league, in the game, you know, across the board. Doesn't really matter to the league, you know, with Grant. And so he knows he's going to have to get after and put some pressure on him for sure.
You know, absolutely. You know, I feel Because, I mean, the first, 5 games of the season is not going to be an easy 5-week season so far for the Miners because, you got Colorado, then you got Carolina week 2 immediately in the Snake Pit in Greensboro. And then, you're definitely going to want to go 2-0 in the beginning of the season. But, we were talking.
I will tell you, we're already 3-0 right now. The way our schedule's lined up, so I'm not too concerned with those first 5 games because 2 of those games we play Carolina, and those are our 2 of 3 guaranteed wins right now. So I'm not really too concerned about playing Carolina.
Cj Cain called it right before you got on the show. It's funny, Coach, because we look at this, schedule, because the original schedule had Harrisburg, and they folded their 2025 season, so the schedule had to be rebuilt with Colorado, Carolina. Now you guys got Carolina 3 times within 6 weeks, 2 at the Snake Pit, 1 at the West Banco.
Yeah.
Brad, you and Brad Negron don't see eye to eye, but you guys both respect each other as coaches. How do you get after Carolina and let them know this ain't going to be no pushover?
Pretty much when we show up on Friday before the game, when the season starts. They know we're not going to be a pushover right now. I promise you that. They can, put on this front, about this or that, and that we're not that tough and we're not going to be very good. But they know the deal. They know we've been around this for a while. Myself specifically, and then some of our players. I was talking with someone the other day. There's probably about 6 or 7 of our players that are associated in some form or fashion through the Cobras, whether they played for them, or they got dissed by them, or they didn't get picked up by them, or they were told that they weren't a good fit for their team. And they're going to have to see all 6 or 7 of those guys, 3 times this year. So that's going to be tough for them, knowing that coming in. As a coach, it always sucks to cut a player, and then you got to see him again. So whenever you got that kind of relationship with former players or guys that you cut that are coming back to play, those usually on my end, when that happens to me, they have their best games of their career. So, I'm expecting it to be kind of the same setup for them. And, it's all good. It's going to be a great atmosphere no matter where it's at. The original schedule had them coming to us first, and then us going there, which I was excited about getting them at home to kick it off. That would eliminate a lot of the first initial emotions, involved with the game. But now it's flipped, so now I'll probably have. I still got quite a bit of fans there in Carolina. So does some of the players, and probably after that March 15th game, I'll probably be one of the most hated dudes in Greensboro.
Well, we can almost guarantee that one, Coach. We can almost guarantee that one. Now, CJ, you got to understand, you got to remember, you now play for the Miners. You can't be going to the Carolina Cobras bench now, buddy.
Well, if I'm going over there, then there's probably a lot more going on than hey, how you doing? So, I'm just letting everybody who's listening know. Coach Red, like I said, Coach Rez and I talk probably 3-4 times a week about everything, life, football, everything. Up sometimes late at night, sometimes early in the morning. I don't know if he ever sleeps, but I promise you one thing: the first touchdown we score, especially offensively, first touchdown we score, there's people are gonna have to hear it. So it'd be.
I don't. I'm not going to lie to you, CJ. I think there is times that Coach Rez does not sleep because I have talked to this man at 11:30 midnight at night sometimes, and I swear to God, this Marine does not sleep. I swear to God, he doesn't.
Happen on March 15th will be the first time we score there, and then when we knee the ball down and Grant hands it to the official, and the clock hits 3 zeros. That would be the 2 best plays. Everything else in between, I'm preparing for it to go our way. I know they're going to make plays. We're going to make plays. It's football, whatever. But that first touchdown in the Snake Pit on the other side, And when we hand the ball to the official at the end, we'll have to make sure we grab that game ball for Coach Rez. So
Absolutely.
I can say, you know, the reason why I say what I do about the 3 games of Carolina is because, through everything that everyone says or have said about the game, I'm not losing to Carolina. I am not losing to the Cobras. Granted, it ain't myself that's playing the game. The reason why I feel like I've been pretty successful through the years as a coach is, my players through the years have really fed off of me as far as willing them to play. My coaching philosophy isn't, you hear the whole adage, and I've said this before, that player will run through a wall for that dude. Well, I want my guys to run through the whole damn building. I want to tear the whole place down. It isn't about just getting in there and knocking a wall down. I want to tear everything up. And when the players are playing with that kind of intensity, you're not going to lose a lot of games. And we've been talking through, this has been a big thing for me the last couple conversations the last few weeks about, I'm going for my 5th season in the championship game coach out of 6 seasons. So, when you got that kind of fire and that kind of experience and success and what the players, do for the coaches because they're well taken care of on and off the field, I'm not losing to Carolina. Carolina's going to have a lot of young guys, a lot of rookies. The first game we play them is going to be their first game. And if there's any team that looks like a developmental team, I promise you it's going to be the Cobras. They got James Summers is about all they have across the board. They're going to have some pieces here and there, some good athletes that no one really knows about. Yeah, there's some young guys just because they're young and they're hungry. But outside of that, I mean, I'm not too concerned about anybody. We're not concerned about anybody that we're playing other than we're going to be our own worst enemy. We're going to be our toughest opponent that we see every week, every day in practice. And when we kind of create that atmosphere where we're just working hard to take care of ourselves and work on us, we'll be well prepared to see anything that's going to be thrown at us. Majority of us, I would say 90% of our team are well versed in the indoor game with the indoor rules. So we're not transitioning brand new from arena style to indoor rules. I've been around this. This is my 19th season in this game. So I know a little bit about a little bit. So, with some of the players we got, a lot of vets on our team, we're going to be ready to roll. We're going to be turning some heads. That first game when Colorado comes to town, the league's going to be put on notice for sure.
Absolutely. I've said it before. I don't really remember if I said it on the coaches show, sir, but I said it before on the show here that, my main games that I'm looking out for is not just Colorado this year. It's the Carolina and the Sioux City games that I'm mainly keeping an eye out for right now because Sioux City is a tough team with, Verlin Reed sitting at quarterback from Ohio State. And, I wouldn't mind, because being media now in, for the Willie Miners, or doing media at the Willie Miners games, this Colorado March 10th game is going to be a huge game. This game could get out of hand if it's not careful.
Yeah, and I think the bigger thing too, so I look at this stuff all the way down through the end of the season. So everything's planned out for, what we have coming up and what we got going on. Week 11 is going to be a big game for us. We are fortunate to be able to play Sioux City at home. That's going to be a good advantage to us to be able to get them at home because it's tough to play in Sioux City. Any of those teams, Omaha and them, those are tough venues to play in. Just from the atmosphere alone, let alone the history of those teams, the coaching, especially in Sioux City. The head coach there's been at this for a long time. That date is definitely circled on us to make sure we're on our game by the time we get to week 11 for sure. And then you talk about closing out the season, 2 trips or 2 games home and away versus Columbus. Columbus, it doesn't matter who's coaching them, what league they're in, who's on their roster. It's a lot of the time it's been a lot of the same guys, through the years. And a lot of them are still on that team that from when I coached there in 2013 as the defensive coordinator. But no matter who you're getting or what you're getting, you're always going to get a scrappy team from Columbus. Whether they're really solid across the board or they got a handful of guys that can hurt you pretty quick. It doesn't matter about what the situation is with Columbus. You're going to get a game every time you play them. I've won some and I've lost some versus Columbus through my career, and it's every single one of those games are tough. They're always within a score or two. They're not going to get really blown out too much, except for the championship game when they got blown out pretty bad in 18 versus Carolina. It was like 64-6 or something like that. But it was crazy. But really, every team's going to be tough. Overall, when it comes down to it, anyone can win anytime. I just know for us, where we're at in my career, and our team as an organization, as a group, as a family, we ain't losing to Carolina. So I was jokingly saying that Carolina's really got it easier than all the other teams in the league because they really only got to focus on 7 games because 3 of them they already know that they're going to go our way. All the rest of us got 10 games to be prepared for. So I am talking a lot of trash about the Carolina stuff. I got history there. It's going to be fun. It'll probably be their most attended game, being their first home game, and especially with the Miners coming and Coach Rez coming to town and some of these former players that've been there. It's going to be a big deal for them, and but regardless of what happens, I'm not losing to Carolina.
It'll be their most viewed video.
I think the great thing too that Coach Rez has going with us right now is, at the end of the day, we can't win the championship March 10th. So, our plan is to go out there and go 1-0. Go out there, put the NAL on notice that the Wheeling Miners are legit. Because I guarantee there's people who, other coaches or people that cover this game or whoever, people on the outside looking in, look at the team and say, oh, they were a developmental team last year. But developmental team somehow landed Grant Russell, somehow landed Sean McGee, somehow landed, the cast of players that we have. Hell, myself, I was been in the NAL the last 2 years and came up here to a developmental team. So, as exciting as March 10th is going to be, first time in West Banco, first time getting to put on for the fans and, play in front of a packed crowd and, hear the support that we're going to have, every game after that's going to be just as fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the thing that I'm really leaning into this year, been talking with some of the guys about, is just like enjoying the process of getting to where we want to go. And that was taught to me 2 years ago by another coach that Coach Rez worked with. Never forget, we were sitting there, we had just lost our first game of the season at San Antonio. And another assistant coach was talking about championship this and this and this. And, Coach Fuller looked down and said, man, we got 14 more games before we can worry about a championship. And it really means, we have a 10-game season, 2 rounds of playoffs. You gotta play 11 games before you can even worry about a championship. So, I think that's one thing Coach Rez does really well. If you listen to his interviews and things like that, he'll talk about the goals winning a championship, but it's not the only thing we talk about. We talk about winning on March 10th, March 15th, March this, May this, April. We talk about winning the games, and everything else will take care of itself. You win your games, you get a chance to get in the dance. You win your playoff game, now you're in the championship. Now it's anybody's game. So, our coaching staff, it was a great thing. My wife and I went up for the tryout because we got to see the camaraderie on the coaching staff. We got to see everybody's ships pointing in the right direction. Nobody's doing opposite things, from Coach Rez, Coach Mott, our DC, Sarge, our equipment guy. Everybody is going in the same direction. Coach Rez says we're going north, we're all going north. We go west, we all go west. So, if the whole coaching staff's doing that, I know for a fact the entire team will do that. that goes to leadership. Everybody seems to be pointing in the right direction. And it makes a guy like me, who's old by some people's standards in this game, excited to get a chance to go out there and truly compete to win a championship and hang another banner in West Banco.
Absolutely. If you look at it, like most people would say, a leader is a person that can get things done, that can, gather people together. And, Coach Rez is the exact same, is that leader. You can get behind that leader. He knows what he's doing. And Coach, I mean, it's been proven. Your record is proving for itself right now. It speaks for itself. Your time in Carolina, Albany, and all these other teams that you have coached and played or coached for. You look at the championship season for you guys against Peach State last year. You guys won that. Now you're going to the NAL, a tougher league with Omaha, Colorado, Sioux City, Carolina, teams like this. There's some of these young players, they have emotions that are set for these, that have high emotions against some of these teams. Like Sean McGee, Tyree Williams with Carolina. Coach, how do you tell some of these young players that are just now coming into this league and seeing these teams now?
Yeah, they just got to stay grounded. Just any kind of big game, you're gonna have. It's okay to have those emotions, but you got to learn how to use those emotions to your advantage, and don't let the emotions use you. Because once the emotions take over, sometimes it's going to make you play a little outside of yourself from what you're trying to accomplish, because you want to win so bad that you'll end up starting to do things that you're not really used to doing, just because you're trying to be the one to make the play. And our whole focus as a group is never that. We're always going to have each other's back. I said this to CJ just the other day and a couple other people. Our mindset is, if you're behind us, we're leading the way for you. If you're beside of us, we're knocking it out together. If you're in front of us, get the hell out the way, because you are just an obstacle for where we're trying to go. And if we have that mindset across the board, it ain't gonna matter who we're playing, when we're playing, why we're playing. Oh, they cut me, I'm about to see him again. None of that matters, because we are focused on the task as a team, as the Miners. And if we all sacrifice ourselves for each other, we're all going to have the stats. We're all going to have all the accolades. If I'm holding a trophy at the end of the season, it isn't because I did it. It's because we did it. It's we over me. And when we implement that into everything we're doing, even on the professional level, it doesn't matter, college, high school. If you're a family, that's tough to beat. It is tough to beat a group that is one. It doesn't matter what level of football it is. You look at the Redskins, or I still call them the Redskins, but Washington last night, that was a group that was together, fighting all the way through. Didn't matter who the heck they were playing, the number one damn seed in the dang NFC. It didn't matter who they were facing, and that's how they've been all season. And it showed. But they were playing together. It wasn't the rookie quarterback by himself. It wasn't the running back. It wasn't the defense. It was all collective group what got that win. And that's how all the teams that are successful, make stuff happen. And that's really going to be how you view the Miners, for the 2025 season.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off that, one of the cool things going up there, I talked with one of the assistant coaches, assistant GM, Coach Porter, and one of the things he talked to me about that he was so impressed with from last year was just how quick the team gelled. I've been a part of some really talented teams that couldn't stand being around each other. And then I've been a part of teams where we didn't quite have all the talent in the world, but we looked beside each other and said, if you do it, I'm doing it. And at the end of the day, when you have a roster of 21 guys on game day, you've got to get really close with those guys. This isn't the NFL or the CFL or UFL, whatever. Most of us are going to be living in the same, hotel, apartment, whatever, as the guys we're playing with. probably 95% of our team is going to be living together, eating together, working out together, watching film together. And then the guys that have to drive in are going to jump in and do what they can when they can get there. But, I think it was important that Coach Rez brought back a good chunk of that championship team, because winning is learned. Like, I coaching football, when I'm out recruiting and stuff, well, the schools I'm going to stop at first are the ones that win. Because they know when it comes fourth quarter, they know what it takes to finish the game. And I think you've got guys like that built all across our roster. Myself, I played in the championship game in 23. Unfortunately lost. But one of the guys I lost to, or two of the guys I lost to, are on our team with Munoz and Finch. Both were on the other side when the confetti fell down. So Izzy has won multiple championships in wheeling. All the guys that came back from last year's team now have a championship under their belt. Regardless of what level it is, winning is hard. And, having the roster set where you've got guys that know how to win, and you mix in the vets that know how the game works and know the ins and outs about, how to travel, how to be a pro, how to handle some of that stuff that, maybe they didn't encounter in years past, is what elevates that team. I believe if we go out there and play our game, I fully believe we can beat anybody we play. But there's going to be ups and downs throughout the season. There's going to be, bumps in the road. It's going to be, travel is always tough. No matter how you plan it, something happens. Or there's personal stuff. You got guys leaving family and doing all that kind of, so there's always going to be something that happens. But if your leadership from your coaching staff and from your leaders on the team is strong, you'll get through that stuff. You'll find a way, and if not, those are the guys that usually end up going home, and they get upset when they don't get to hold the trophy at the end of the year. And I'm talking from talking to, I got friends that were in Omaha. That's the formula they use. That's the formula Susan used. That's the formula that Jacksonville used all those years. Build a tight-knit team and let everything else take care of itself. Because you don't want to disappoint your brother at the end of the day. You don't want to be the guy in film that gets circled because you gave up on a play. You don't want to be the guy that gave up the game-losing sack or the game-losing touchdown. So when you hold each other to that standard, but you can talk about it like adults, like I said, you'll be surprised what can happen, within a team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when you talk about the camaraderie part, real quick, we got 32 out of the 35 signed right now. Of the 32, 16 of them are returners from last year. Of the other 16, the new 16 to the minors, 50% of them, 8 of those guys, roughly, know the 16 that are assigned to the team. In some capacity, they know each other. So when it grows that exponentially, that quickly, going into camp, it's going to be 10 days of camp where we're going to be a tight-knit group coming out of camp, going into week one. When we get rolling together, we got stuff planned for like dinners and everything like that with it as a team in camp. Really build some team building stuff because we gotta try to put ourselves in that position to gain that quickly. Like we don't have time. We don't have time to wait by week 3 to be rolling. Every game is going to matter. Especially with the divisions, we play 7 out of 10 games are division games for us. So those 7 games are very important. Granted, 3 of them are versus Carolina, so we already got 3 of those on lock. But it's a big deal, and we're excited with where we're at from that standpoint as a family.
Now, Coach, I got some questions. Real quick here in the comments section right now. And one of them is a double-edged sword right now, but also, before I get to that one, do you have your breakout player this year for the team right now, bud?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them are solid. The one person that I am very confident that I would say is, no matter what is going on, is the dude, and that's Grant. Grant is the top dude. He's the top quarterback in this game. He's the top quarterback. If he's playing the IFL, he'd be one of the top quarterbacks in the IFL. If he was in the UFL, he'd be one of the top quarterbacks in the UFL. So he would be very successful no matter where he's at, and we are blessed to have him. I don't know how much longer Grant will be playing. He's getting ready to start a family. Say he just lights it up this year and then he starts getting phone calls again for CFL or anything like that, then, he's really going to have to make a decision. Is he going to continue to do that? We could always be a teacher whenever we want. I mean, if I left this school, then I'll go to this school, later on. Especially if I'm young and I've still got that ability to keep playing, I got to keep playing until I'm told that I can't play no more, especially if I got a chance to get paid at a high level. So I would say right now, if I would name any single player, it would be Grant. But we got some really special dudes on our roster, from bigs to skill, across the board. We got some really good players, and it's going to be, exciting to see there at the end when all the awards come out and player awards and different things like that. I would see a lot of blue and gold up there for sure.
Yeah, I definitely Caden, you and I definitely got to get a hold of some of these new players like Alex Coleman. We got to definitely get Grant Russell on the show. I got to talk to the MVP, man. I got to. I haven't been able to get a hold of him on the show yet. I understand he's starting a family, but the MVP cannot be bothered. We can't bother the MVP right now.
No, but you're the stud and you're the guy when your wife jumps on a show watching, and I was the one that commented. I was like, "Oh, MVP wife in the building, MVP wife in the building, Miss Grant Russell." So, when the wife is getting called out as MVP, you got a special player involved, and
absolutely.
So we're looking forward to a heck of a season with him.
Absolutely. I've been wanting to talk to Grant since the time we were up at Quaker State and being able to get ourselves acclimated with the minors and stuff like that. I've been wanting to talk to Grant about last season, this upcoming season this year, but I can't bother the MVP right now. I gotta let him be. Gotta let the MVP be.
Yeah, and I'm gonna speak on his behalf all season long, because Grant is a very humble dude, and he ain't gonna say what he's gonna do or how he's gonna do it. He's gonna show up and do his job. So I'm all about giving dudes their flowers. While they're still in the process of making things happen. Don't give them when they're dead. Don't give it to them after the fact. Speak up for people. In the current, in the present, and I will be speaking on Grant's behalf all season, every week. I could promise you that.
Absolutely, Caden. I've been talking a lot here, Caden. You got anything for me, bud?
No, you're fine. The only thing that I really have to say is these coaches that say that they're gonna beat Wheeling, they say they're 2 steps ahead. Coach Rez is 12, 15 steps ahead, dude. It's like CJ said, whenever he's not building a team to just win one championship, he's building for years upon years.
Absolutely. By the way, Coach,
that's the only way to do it. I can't, as a play caller, I get mad at play callers all the time, especially offensive, because offense is my specialty. But as an offensive play caller, people that call plays just to call plays for the hell of it, it's not they suck. They don't win a lot of games. They're not putting up a lot of points. They're not putting up a lot of stats. You got to put your guys in a situation. It's still chess, not checkers. I'm calling a play now so I can call another play 12 plays from now, 9 plays from now. We're setting stuff up to get you situated for week 7. I'm playing you now, but I'm getting you situated for week 7. So when you're watching film, you're going to think you have stuff going on, but that's just that coaching aspect of it. That's why I love what we do. That's why I love being a coach. It's still fun. Even when you're done playing, it's still fun as a coach. CJ can probably speak on that, being a college coach, being able to play in the spring and then coach guys in the fall. It's like you have a different mindset when you're coaching, because you were a player and you're excited and you know how to get with these guys and really relate to them, especially as younger coaches. That's why you see a lot of old heads retiring, moving on, because the disconnect with these players now is it's crazy for them.
Yeah, it definitely helped me out a lot, with my coaching and being able to connect. But it also helps when I sit here and talk ball with Coach Rez. when we're sitting here, talking about different things in the run game, different pass protections, like, I think it's important that you've got guys that you can do that with. It's also good that your coach can, reciprocate those things because, me personally, like, this is my everything. Like, football is me. I've been doing this since I was 6 years old. Playing, coaching for the last 7-8 years. So when I'm out there, everything is genuine and passionate. So it's great to be around like-minded people. I pick up the phone, text Grant. He's out throwing. He's out putting everything in. AC putting in work. Like, it's just great to be around like-minded guys and, having coaches that challenge you, both on the field with scheme and things like that, but then off the field of, like, how can you get better being you? And I think that's a big thing for me. Like, I don't have to be anyone I'm not. Coach Rez looks at me to be a leader, that's what I'll be. But if I'm not the guy that's going to give the motivational, pregame speech, I don't have to do that. I can just be me, lead the guys around me, lead by action, say things when I need to say things when it's needed. But what you'll see with me is everything is genuine. Like, how I play, how I interact with people. Like, I'm the type of guy, I'm gonna give the energy that I'm giving. You BS me, you talk bad about me, I'm just gonna push you to the side. I don't care, don't need it. So, I've learned some of that stuff in coaching because you're not gonna make every kid you work with happy. You're not gonna work, every coach you work with isn't gonna be happy. Those are things that, I've had to learn and it helps with my interactions. And I know Coach Rez goes through a lot of those same things. When he has to send guys home, they're not fans of Coach Rez that day. So, but we've been able to kind of talk through those things, and it's pretty cool that we both have had similar experiences as players, as coaches, and that he can look to me and say, hey, what do you like right here? What's something you think will work right here? And I can look at him and say, Coach, you trust me, this is what I think works, and he goes with it or not. So there's a good level of respect, because we both have had done similar things.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Gentlemen, I like to have a little bit of fun. Coach, you know how I like to have a little bit of fun on my show a little bit. CJ, you should know the same damn thing. If you guys...
Real quick, I don't want to cut you off. You said there was a few questions.
Oh, yes.
Is there any questions out here?
Well, one of them was the kind of like a double-edged sword, and you already said that you were 3-0 already against Carolina. Where do you guys see yourself ending the season at on your record sheet?
So, my projection is almost the old school thought process with everything of the plan is to be undefeated at home and 50-50 on the road. So if we can do that, luckily we got an odd number of games on the road. So I will go ahead and say we'll be 3-2 at minimum on the road. So that would put us at 8-2 on the season. I feel like that's still really strong to be a chance to be the number 1 seed in the American Conference. Division. I think that's a real good projection for us. Being undefeated is going to be tough. We got some really good tough matchups on our schedule. We'd like to say we'd win every game, but I am realistic when it comes down to it. But we're going to try. We're going to try to go 1-0 times 10, and we'll see where we end up at the end. With that. But it's I could see 1, maybe 2. We won't lose more than 2 games. That is one guarantee I'll make of, and I'll put a guarantee out there that we're going to host that playoff game for the American division. So that's where we'll end up for the season. That's my thought process on that.
Absolutely. Guys, let's kind of shift gears here for a second. We got some the NFL playoffs are in full swing right now. And I'm not going to lie to you. I told Caden earlier, my Super Bowl is busted already. Like, my Super Bowl is shot to hell right now. I had Kansas City and Detroit in the Super Bowl. I really did. I had the Lions and the Chiefs and the Lions winning the Super Bowl this year. But last night, boy, I got proven wrong. This Washington Commanders team is absolutely killing it on this field right now.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, who do you have tonight? Baltimore, Buffalo. Who do you got?
That's a tough one, man. It's I tell you, because one thing that sucks for me, with that the whole process, Flowers ain't playing. I don't think Flowers is playing this game. That's going to hurt him a little bit. Bateman's been pretty strong for him in the passing game. I think this will be a big game for Mark Andrews to have this week. Tonight, he's been kind of, I wouldn't say absent because he's made some good catches through the last couple of weeks for them, but usually Mark Andrews was, real heavy in the passing game, and it hasn't really been that much of the case this year. I should know because I do FanDuel a lot, so he hasn't done very well for me all through the season and haven't made that much money with him. So, but I think this is one of those games. I'm taking a timeout from the games today, so he'll probably have one of his top games of the season tonight. So, which that'll piss me off a little bit, but it all depends. I know it's going to be really cold up there. Josh Allen is having a phenomenal season on the year. It's really cool to see the battle of probably the front runners for MVP tonight. It's pretty cool to see whenever you got two good quarterbacks going at it. It's always going to be a fun game, and I really think this game's going to go all the way to the end. I think it's going to be really close. Potential could be an overtime game. I like to see the Ravens win, but Josh Allen has really put this team in a position to really deserve it. I'd hate to see them to make it all the way to the Super Bowl because they don't got a very good record in the Super Bowl. So
this is now, Coach. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're a Steelers fan, though.
I'm actually, if I have to claim a team, I would be a Raiders fan.
Whoa!
Steelers for us was just convenient. We've been to a couple games. I'm big on following players and coaches, and Coach Tomlin is one of those guys that ranks up there as one of the better coaches in the NFL history. A lot of people don't like Mike Tomlin or think he shouldn't be the Steelers coach, but are they really students of the game to understand that Tomlin is the dude that should be the coach? I don't think a lot of people understand that. So, but the Raiders fan, since 2002, I've been a struggling Raiders fan since they lost to Gruden and the Bucks. I'll never forget it. I was on my friend's floor in his house. We were watching it. I was in the Marines then. He was a huge Buccaneers fan. I think that was probably the worst game I ever seen of Rich Gannon. It was like he was paid by Gruden to throw that game, literally threw the game into the other hands of the Bucks.
Look, the only Raiders game that I really feel like the Raiders got really cheated on was when the Tuck rule came into play in New England that night, that Foxborough game.
Yeah, and how ironic is now that Tom Brady is part owner of the Raiders.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is very true. I'm calling it tonight. I'm calling it straight up down the middle. Buffalo wins this game over Baltimore tonight. I think this Buffalo offense and defense are absolutely high-powered offenses and defenses on that field. But the only thing for Buffalo is going to be, can you stop Lamar Jackson and that run game of Derrick Henry as well?
So I after going through everything, I think I am going to make the call that it's going to be the Ravens. And my main reason for that is to stick it to Coach Negron because he's a Bills fan, and it's Ravens tonight, baby.
Okay, so hold on, Coach. You're saying Ravens. How much? How much are the Ravens winning by tonight?
Ooh, now you're asking a lot of tough questions. I would say, I tell you what, let's be creative and make it really exciting and say that Tucker wins it with a field goal.
Oh! Okay. CJ, what about you, bud? Ravens or Bills tonight, buddy?
It's hard to go against two-time MVP and King Henry, so I think this is the year. I'm not saying that they're going to win the Super Bowl. They still have to go through Kansas City, who looked pretty impressive last night defensively. But I think they get it done. I'm going to say 23-17. I'm going to say.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I got you. But see, here's the problem. No matter if Baltimore or Buffalo wins this game tonight, they got the high-powered Kansas City Chiefs the next week. And I'm like, you got to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and you got to beat them on that field straight up.
Well, the tough part with them now is, Mahomes played pretty well last night. Didn't make any mistakes to hurt the team, but I mean, I don't care what level you get 8 sacks in a game. It's going to be tough to win a football game. I mean, the Chiefs had Cj Stroud back there. If the first read wasn't open, he was running every time. So if they can get any sort of pressure like that, whether it's against Baltimore or Buffalo, it's going to be a tough night. I mean, no quarterback wants to get hit 8+ times in a game. Their defense is playing really well. They got a pretty good little return man back there that, almost started the game off with a touchdown. So I think Kansas City's one of those teams they always talk about, having a week off hurts. But I think they just got championship pedigree. So the main group of guys has been there, has won, 2-3 Super Bowls. So, it's like what we were talking about earlier. Winning does matter.
Now, I see Coach Rez here at the bottom of the screen shaking his head no. Coach, I know you got a comment on this. Throw it at me, bud.
Yeah, two things. So, one, everyone that should know, remember too, and think about, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm solid on this one. The Bills beat the Chiefs, but the Ravens beat the Bills in the regular season.
This is true.
I'm pretty sure
That's what I mentioned.
Yeah. So when you look at that, it's all about how, who played who. You play that game of, well, they beat them and they beat them, and but in the playoffs, all that goes out the windows. But two, you said, just wanted to fact check you. You said that all they had to worry about, whoever played the Chiefs, was Mahomes and whatever. I can't remember what you said, Mahomes and whatever. But no, I was shaking my head because you got to worry about the refs too. The refs so it's every game, it's something crazy. You get a phantom, unnecessary roughness call with on certain situations, and it's crazy, man. The whatever they got going on, the refs are always bailing the Chiefs out for sure.
And I feel like I've been saying it all year round. Like when the referees referee these Chiefs games, they better just put on red uniforms because that's all they're calling is for the Chiefs every step of the way. But look, Baltimore beat Buffalo in the regular season, and Buffalo handed Kansas City their first loss of the season. No matter who has to play the Chiefs, I don't know if the Chiefs are making it to the Super Bowl because both teams are a tough team. They really are. And if it's Baltimore, I think Baltimore beats Kansas City. If it's Buffalo, it's the same thing. Buffalo's going to beat the Chiefs. I don't want to watch another Super Bowl with the Chiefs in it. I'm so tired of seeing Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in the same Super Bowl. I really am. Mm-hmm. So my prediction this year was Chiefs-Lions, the Swiftie fans versus the 8 Mile. That was the way I thought.
Yeah,
But now if I'm looking at it, I look at it like this. I would like to see Buffalo, Philadelphia, the Eagles and the Bills in the Super Bowl, or the Ravens and the Eagles. That would be a fantastic game.
Yeah, and here's a number too that I saw on social media was the Hunt's daughter, the owner of the Chiefs, the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She had put out there. It was a picture of her and like Taylor Swift hugging on each other. That since Taylor Swift got involved with the team, it raised their following by like 83% increase from where it was at before Taylor Swift. So they got enough publicity. They don't need to be in the Super Bowl again. They don't need none of that mess. So, we'll see how that goes.
Well, Coach, I got some more comments here for you, bud.
Yeah, what you got?
Well,
Good or bad, it doesn't matter. I ain't scared.
What is your funniest Grant Russell moment?
Funniest Grant Russell moment. So my funniest Grant Russell moment, it probably wasn't too funny to him, but when he came back after his honeymoon, where he missed the playoff game, we had him a lei to wear around his neck to come out for his intro, and it was supposed to be a joke, and he didn't see it as that until after the fact, and then his wife thought it was funny because she knew what was going on. But that was a pretty funny moment because he. Matter of fact, I talked to him after the game against the Jersey game and the playoff game, and he said, "Oh, coach, I feel bad I wasn't there." I'm like, "Shut up! You don't feel bad sitting in the with your toes in the sand. Like, you lucky we got through it. We made it. So, get your tail back."
All right. So, can anybody else agree with this comment? I have a prediction for the Super Bowl from here: Ravens Commanders Super Bowl.
I can see it.
Could you?
If it's Ravens, Commanders, if Commanders are the NFC team, they're going to win it.
Oh!
Commanders are going to win it. I can't remember when the last time a rookie won a Super Bowl, but he they're pretty solid. I think they're calling them the Cardiac Commanders right now too.
Yeah, this Commanders team is unreal. Jaden Daniels is, holy cow. Like, I was not expecting.
The moment might be too big for him. You could probably say the moment might be too big for him. No, it ain't. Every moment, every big situation he was in this year, it was like ice water in his veins. He was very, very poised and everything, and that's really as a leader. When you're following somebody and you're going into battle, so to speak, and your leader is not even fazed by the moment. It just enhances everybody's ability, and he's that kind of a special dude where he makes everybody around him better. That's a true MVP for sure.
Caden, do you have a score update for me on this Rams-Eagles game real quick, bud?
Let me pull it up. I do have a question for CJ and Coach Rez. So I'll give the score update first. Eagles-Rams, it is 19-15. Eagles are winning, and the Eagles have the ball.
What quarter?
Fourth quarter, 10 minutes, 21 seconds left.
That game's going to come down to the wire. Go ahead, ask your question, bud.
So this is a little fun question. Obviously, CJ plays football, and Coach Rez coaches it. Did you guys do fantasy football this year?
I did.
Yeah.
How'd you do?
What was your guys' records?
So I was in 2 leagues. I was in my league with my family, and then I was in a league with my in-laws and their family. My family league was terrible. Really didn't care too much this year because the other league was a cash league, so put all my energy to that. But I think I went like 8-6 in one league, and then I was like 3-something in the other league.
Holy cow.
Yeah, my paid league, I ripped off. I was 8-0. It was the best start in the last few years of fantasy for me. And then I lost the next 5 out of 6, and then lost the dang playoff game. So it was a disaster.
Oh, Coach.
On
God.
the verge of getting a pretty good payday. I think we paid the buy-in was like $150 or something like that. But first place was like $1,500. So I was pretty excited. But I knew if I started off 8-0, that's pretty scary to see how it's going to end, because usually that doesn't end good in that situation. Then I've been in for the last few years in a fan league, a free one with a lot of Cobras fans that I stayed in it within the last few years doing it, and was right there at the end. I want to say I was either runner-up, took second place, or lost the round right before the championship game. I can't remember, but I didn't win. But I was like talking junk, because my name's King Cobra on the for my name for the league. So, but one of the other fans ended up winning, so that was pretty cool. But it was pretty decent. We was right there at the end, so that's all that mattered.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't do my fantasy league this year. I didn't have the momentum and the energy to do it this year. It's a lot for me to go through. But You know, if you look at it, I can't really. I want to see Baltimore go to the Super Bowl because the last time they were in the Super Bowl, it has been a while. Well, actually, the last time they were in the Super Bowl was when the Harbaugh brothers were coaching, and you know, I just.
I think that was 15. I think.
Was it 15?
I think I can't remember. It's where the lights went out in the Georgia Dome at the time.
That motherfucker ran so fast he turned the lights out. But all right, guys, here we go.
That was Kaepernick's last year.
Yeah, it was. It was Colin Kaepernick's last year. All right, if you could pick one person on the Miners, not to get hit by, CJ, who would it be?
I don't know. Here's the thing: when you're my size, it's always the damn DBs that hit you the hardest. Like, I've been hit by like very large human beings, but like it's equals. But like those damn DBs come full speed, so I don't know. I've seen him hit some people pretty hard. I probably don't want to catch Dante Mason or Tyree, with my head turned. I feel like that'd probably be a little painful, but. Yeah, I'll go with them. They're a little bit faster than me, so they'll hit me a little bit quicker than a fat body would.
I'll tell you one that kind of goes back to the question when you asked who would be a standout player this year for the Miners. I am excited to see Agent Zero, Javon Johnson, one of our linebackers, really see him. He's going to have a really good season this year. I think this is his opportunity to really showcase his true ability from a linebacker because he's going to get to cover some, to really show his versatility to be able to play outside, to really show playing at the next level and have that ability. But he'll hit you. He'll come down and he'll smack you. Him having a free run, the way the indoor rules are set up, having that free run coming downhill when the offense is an empty, that quarterback better get rid of that dang ball, or he might not make it to the rest of the game.
Absolutely. Coach, if you had to choose a player not to get hit by, who would it be?
Probably Agent Zero or
Caden, who's yours, bud?
I don't want to get hit by any of them.
I would say if it was me, I would have to say Sean McGee. I would not want to get hit and laid out by Sean. No way, no how. That Tyree Williams, too.
I'll tell you, too, Tyree for sure. But if you remember Tyreek Noble, number 47 from the Bearcats, defensive end, having him opposite ends of McGee this year is going to be freaking nasty. And any combination right now, it's one of our toughest groups that we'll have to slim down is our D-line. To know that one or two of those guys, I think, we got 8 on there right now? Probably 2 guys. I'd probably say keeping 6 is probably going to be pushing it. So it might even be 3 guys that we might end up having to let go at the end of camp, that we're going to see one of those 3 guys again. At some point, somewhere along the line, we're going to end up seeing them. But we got probably, I think we did an over-under on my show. I think I was at 7 or 8. I think it was 7 plus of the 10 that we cut down from camp to the 25-man roster is they're going to end up on other teams' rosters that we'll end up seeing at some point.
Absolutely. Coach, real quick, first thing I want to say is I want to say thank you to you, Coach, for giving me the chance to bring you on the show, giving me the chance to conduct more interviews with you guys during training camp, during the season this year, giving me a chance to prove and show my abilities, with you as well. I feel like I've grown a bond with you, Coach, and I greatly appreciate you allowing me to do this with you. Also I want to send an apology out to you, Coach, for not making it to training camp on January 10th. I had celebrated my anniversary, my 1-year wedding anniversary that day. So
trust me, my starting quarterback went on his honeymoon for a playoff game, so I would not
He's used to
expect
it.
you to be at a tryout instead of an anniversary, because when you're the one person you don't want to have pissed at you is the real boss of the house.
Well, I let her think that she's the real boss of the house. I'm getting a really dirty look right now. I just want this to be known.
I just felt it for you. I felt it for you. I knew that she was already there filming you, and you were probably getting something thrown at you.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. It'll
I'm
probably...
being nice because he's in camera.
But, gentlemen, do you have your Super Bowl pick for this year?
Unpopular. I'm gonna go with the guys that have been there and done it. So until
Who?
the Chiefs, until someone can prove that they can beat them.
Oh my gosh, you're a Swiftie.
And the show starts now.
You're one of those conspiracy theorist guys. Oh, they tugged his jersey too hard. They did this too hard, all because of this.
I would say it was the Lions. I wanted to see them. Campbell's done a heck of a job. I actually know the backup quarterback pretty well. I'm friends with his dad, so that's Hooker, Hendon Hooker. So was hoping that he's going to be one to watch out next year to see what happens if Detroit keeps him, or if he ends up getting traded away for some picks. I saw some people putting out some rumors that they might go to the Raiders. If that's the case, he might be the first jersey that I've ever bought from an NFL player.
Talking Hendon Hooker?
Actually, no. Huh?
Are you talking Hendon Hooker?
Yeah.
Former Tennessee quarterback. See, that would be interesting to see him go to the Raiders. I mean, that would be a definite boost for this Raiders offense.
For sure. But I would say I think it'd be cool to see the Commanders make it.
Oh, yes.
Through all the season they had, I think that'll be pretty cool. But realistically, Josh Allen's gonna be tough. I would say between the two that will make it to the Super Bowl, like I said, I think would be Washington and Buffalo. So, and hopefully Commanders can pull it off.
Whew, that means Buffalo would have to beat Baltimore tonight.
I know, but I want the Ravens to win, so that's tough, man. I just want them to lose because I want Negron to start his losing like now.
Negron's a Bills fan?
Oh yeah, diehard Bills fan.
Oh my God, he is Bills Mafia.
We got a call. So I, and Chris Reynolds, the owner, head coach with Idaho, we're on the competition committee for the NAL competition rules committee, and we have a call coming up that we want to knock some stuff out for our head coach's call, and then present some stuff to the board for some things to get adjusted with rules and whatnot. But I jokingly sent a text out not too long ago, said, hey, we're going to have that call tonight at 6:30. None of us have anything going on tonight at 6:30, so we'll have that call. And he said, there's no chance in hell that I'm going to get on any call at 6:30. I said, there ain't nobody playing. What does it matter? So, what did he say? I thought this was funny. He said, pretty good. He said, depending on how things go, I may be available at 8 p.m. tonight, LOL.
Okay. I'm calling my Super Bowl right now. Bills, Commanders. Bills win the Super Bowl. I'm calling it Bills, Commanders. I think the Bills, Commanders game for the Super Bowl is going to be a very close game. Like Coach Rez said earlier, Jaden Daniels, this man's got ice in his veins. This man is not bothered by anything.
If he makes it to the Super Bowl, they're winning.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if I have the money and I somehow become a millionaire between now and then, I'm going to that Commanders game if Jaden's there.
Oh, there we go. Well, Coach.
I think it's gonna be.
Go ahead, bud.
I was gonna say I think it's gonna be Eagles Ravens.
See, that would be interesting,
Bird
Caden.
on bird crime.
That would be interesting. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, and Derrick Henry on that field. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Either way you go, there's a lot of good matchups. Kansas City is really the only team that don't really have outside of Mahomes and Kelsey, Pacheco's solid, Worthy's solid. Hopkins been a little absent, last 3 weeks. I don't think he's ever really been in the role that he's in as just a dude on the team type thing. So, they don't really have anybody. Their defensive coordinator is pretty cool. He's pretty solid. He dials up a lot of good stuff. So, but everyone else that's going to be making a push for it, they all got the combinations of guys and wide receiver duos and running back, solid running games, and it's pretty tough to see how that's going to play out.
Absolutely. Real quick before we start to wrap up everything, who's your guys' pick for MVP this year?
I'd say Josh Allen.
Josh Allen?
I'm going Lamar.
Lamar?
I'm going Lamar.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a voice in
Have
that.
they had the pick already? Have they already decided, voted?
I don't think so.
I don't think they did.
Tonight would be perfect. Whoever wins the night is going to win the MVP.
Yeah.
See, I can't say that because I'm not going with the quarterback for MVP this year.
Do you think it's going to be Barkley?
Yeah.
You might as well shave the rest of that part of your hair off.
No, the MVP gets announced the day before the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Lamar.
So, yeah, I bet you
UP
it's kind of
is
cool
MVP.
how it's played out. That's kind of cool how it's played out, though, to where they faced each other tonight.
Look,
And Barkley's had a good game. Barkley's had a good game today. Anyway, so.
well, see, I mean, Lamar's good, Josh Allen's good, but I feel like, now that Saquon Barkley is not with the Giants, he's like the revitalized running back that we've all been wanting to see again. And, he's had a phenomenal season. We can't deny that.
He's doing phenomenal right now. I'm looking at his stats right now.
Yeah, it's 20. I just saw the score, 28-15 now.
Saquon currently has 24 carries, 196 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, looks like he just scored again on a long run.
Jesus.
At least an 80-yard run.
Well, gentlemen, it has been an absolute blast. I love talking with you guys. It's been an absolute blast. Coach, training camp, when's it start for you guys?
So players will report February 18th, physicals February 19th, first practice February 20th.
Outstanding.
Thursday, I believe.
Have you come up with your when's the big season ticket party for you guys?
That's kind of up in the air right now. I was aiming for the 22nd of February, but we may push it to March 1st. That's our last day at cuts. That way, we'll actually have our team. That'd be a cool time to really present the team for the first time to the fans, and not quite sure where yet. It had a really good turnout at Generations last year, so I think total that came through was total people that came through for that was, if I had to count, 300 to 350. It was awesome. It was a good time of people coming through. The place was packed, and we had a really good time, and I think it's going to be just as exciting this year. And so I got to make sure we're in a good spot so we can accommodate a ton of people. My goal is to have as close to 500 season ticket holders as possible. So if we hit that mark, then you're looking at 700 people coming through together with families, and because not everyone's going to come. You like to be planned to think, but if we ended up with 400 season ticket holders, I'd probably say last year we had 247. Of the 247, we probably had, I'd probably say we mailed out probably 75 of them. So it was, so if you look at those numbers based on how many people came, that's usually, husband, wife, so say 2, so probably about 150 groups that come through. So that's probably how we got to the 350. So,
Well,
so if we're over 200 people this time, 250, then that means we hit our close to our 500 mark.
well, I know I definitely will be there. I definitely will. I have to finally go out shopping and get some new clothes, some decent looking clothes for this.
Yeah, we'll be able to get all that information out there when it comes up. I did something cool that I don't think anyone has done. I also offered the opportunity for some fans to purchase a fan ring, championship ring, that was that same ring as the one we're getting, except for on their ring, it'll say #1 fan on the side and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty cool. So they'll be able to attend the ring ceremony. All fans will be able to attend the ring ceremony whenever we announce that. I want everyone there. I was trying to do it together with the season ticket pickup party, but there's a lot of logistics involved in that, trying to time all that up, and so a lot of that information is still kind of up in the air. But I definitely want all the fans there that want to come, because I want them to see that whenever we win a ring, our 9th man gets a chance to get a ring. So that's, no one really does that and offers that to them. And you can say, well, I don't want to pay for a ring, then don't buy one. It's as simple. But I think we had almost 20 fans buy a ring. So I thought that was pretty cool for them to get some hardware. They probably never had a chance to win a championship ring in their life.
Absolutely. Coach, I still want to say thank you for giving me the chance to become media for you guys this year. I do greatly appreciate that. This has been a wild ride. I'm glad to be able to have got the chance to talk to you, Coach, be able to grow a friendship with you. CJ, before I let you go, bud, anything to say to the Miners fans out there, bud?
Yeah, just time's ticking. So buy your season tickets. Get ready to come watch a lot of action in West Bank. I promise you're not going to leave disappointed. We got some great guys, great coaches, great ownership. We got a lot of cool things planned for games, different things like that, and cool uniforms to break out, and a brand new look in the NAL. So come support us. You got 5 guaranteed opportunities, and then if we have our way, you're going to get 2 more in June. So come out there, be a part of it, buy your season tickets, help cheer us on to bring another trophy to West Banco.
Absolutely. Coach Rez, anything to say to the fans out there, bud?
Yeah, man, just get your tickets. It's going to be an exciting time. Working on some last-minute details with Carolina we got a pretty good setup with our bus company to be able to provide a fan bus if we can fill it. I feel like we can, so that'll be pretty cool. I think our fan buses, the company that we're with, I think their main bus that they carry is like a 39 passenger. So, when you're looking at trying to fill that with fans, it shouldn't be that difficult. So basically what would it entail with that is seat on the bus. We play Saturday night, so they would leave early Saturday morning, get there, probably get a dinner. It'll include hotel stay, because they'll stay the night after the game and then ride back Sunday morning. So with that, we're putting the numbers together and all that. I'll have a group ticket rate for our fans, because I know a ton of fans want to go to Carolina, so we'll have an actual group fan rate for that. So we'll be putting all that information out here, sooner than later. They're finalizing some things on their end, and we're doing the same thing for them. When they come on the 19th, they're going to want to bring a fan bus and make it a big deal. If we put too much of a hurting on them, we'll probably have a bunch of people coming up from there to come check us out to get that revenge, because we beat their tail on their opening night.
Absolutely. Caden, any last words there, brother?
Nothing, just it's like CJ said, time's ticking.
It's about time. It's about time. We only got 2 more months, folks. It's time. West Banco Arena is going to be rocking March 10th. Colorado, Wheeling. It's going to be an amazing first game of the season. Coach, CJ, thank you guys for joining me today. I greatly appreciate having you both on me. I can't wait to see you guys at training camp. Coach, can't wait to see you again in person, bud. It's been a phenomenal run for you. Can't wait to see what the new season brings for us Miners fans out here. CJ, welcome to Wheeling, buddy. Can't wait to see what you could go out there and put on the show, bud.
Sir, thank you for having me.
Coach, real quick before I let you go, bud, wanted to ask, can I ask you a question after the show's over?
Sure.
All right, appreciate it, Coach. But ladies and gentlemen, please send a warm extend and say thank you to Coach Rez, Cj Cain of the Wheeling Miners, head coach and GM of there. I greatly appreciate these 2 gentlemen being on with me today. But TC Live, I am Caden. My co-host,
You're not Caden.
I'm Troy. My co-host is Caden, and we are TC Live, and we will see you guys next Sunday at 4 o'clock. We greatly appreciate you guys, and we love you. Peace.